its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
The Ramble with Alex Bennett. Tonight at 10:30 Eastern on GabNet.
We're GabNet, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First, on Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, it's The Exchange with Damian Chaplin.
Are we making resolutions anymore? Does anybody do that anymore?
I don't do resolutions either.
You don't do resolutions?
No. If I decide I'm going to do something, I just do it. I don't say, all right, on this date, I whatever it is.
So you don't believe at all that by making a resolution, it might motivate you to actually do so, as opposed to, every other day when you're supposed to do something, but you don't, because you got no motivation to do so.
Wednesday through Friday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, it's Alex Bennett with The Ramble.
Trump has to turn over his private papers or whatever.
January 6th papers. At the archive, he doesn't even have them. He can't stop it.
But anyway, now they're asking his daughter to testify. It's not making him too happy. Good.
Lock them all up.
Huh?
Lock them all up.
If we were going to lock them up, we'd already be starting the trial. I don't think
It ain't going to happen.
Monday and Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and Wednesday through Friday at midnight Eastern, it's The Intersection with Jack Bishop.
How about them Chiefs over the weekend?
That game was ridiculous.
Wipe out.
Now, why do you say the game was ridiculous?
Because they scored more points in the last 2 minutes than they scored the whole rest of the game.
Unlike the Cowboys, who will choke in the last half of the game.
Yeah.
If you like sports, we've got that too, with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Let's switch it up today. We're gonna do them in reverse order. Let's get our horse race in first, and then we will introduce. It's so ridiculous. I can't. He's got the whole beard inside of the face guard. All right. Well, all right. Without any further ado, we're gonna go make sure my sound effects are up first and foremost. Here we go.
Milk toast, milk titties, and big boobies, and who the hell's Trump after this time?
I want to know what milk toast is. Can you elaborate on that? I was already ready for your usual, and then you threw the curveball and said milk toast.
Want to meet a group of nice people in a civil atmosphere? Then join Alex Bennett and his pop-up show on Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Belated happy birthday, Steve.
Thank you very much.
How old are you now?
I am, it was my Medicare birthday.
Oh, 65.
Correct.
Welcome to a new world.
How come everybody is younger than I am? Gee, I'm getting sick of this. I want somebody. Will somebody please call this show that's older than I am?
I need to get my mother on here. She's 94, so that'd be
Is she 94? Somebody, anybody over 82, please call the show. Don't make me feel like I'm an old fart here.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GabNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before.
Jack Bishop's Intersection, tonight at midnight Eastern on
Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, yeah, it's live from Harlem, New York City. It's me, and it's Alex Bennett, and it's the Ramble.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a man who has done, how many shows did we figure we've done? Over
300.
Over 360, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah, because I have all them here, and then I just go and I say how many in that file. In fact, I'll go look now. Could go look right immediately, but you know. Let me move that up. Let's go to Bubs. No, we don't. Where do we have? Oh, guests. Here we are. And then we go Bubs. Okay. Bubs. And then I go all the way down to the bottom. Wow, jeez. You know when the first one was we did? Hold on. Let me see here. When the first one we ever did was, God, this is... Okay, the first one we ever did was... No, that's not the one. That's not right. Here's Bubbles 3. Oh, let's see. Bubbles... Well, the closest I've got for the first one here is August 12th, 2016. So
okay.
we've been doing these 9 years, Bubs.
Jesus.
9 years. And let me see if I can get a total here. Bum, 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 bum. Boom, 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 boom. Now let me go info. What do I want? Oh, okay, here we go. This says where? It does. Oh, 387. This is 380. Well, 87, 89, say 8. Okay. We're almost, what did I say?
387.
387, 388. This is 389. You ready for that?
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's a lot, Bubs. That's a lot. Amazing. Just amazing. Thank you for doing them with me. And
yes. I think Seinfeld did less than 200, didn't he?
Yeah. When we get to 400, that's it. I'm not having anything to do with you. I got enough to rerun you for the rest of my life.
You can just replay the ones from 9 years ago.
I wonder what that would sound like. I mean, I could play it for you, but your voice probably hasn't changed a bit, neither is mine, I don't think.
Your voice, yeah, you sound the same. A lot of people, their voices change dramatically as they age.
I think my voice has changed a little bit, you know.
Not much.
It's a little older, you know. But it's not like this, you know.
No.
And I don't sound as old. I don't look as old as some of the people my age, you know. So. And you know, you look at yourself, it's funny. I look at myself every day because I do videos and I look at myself. And until I turn to the side, I don't see the age. When I turn sideways, I can see my age more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I find little marks I've got, you know, things like that on my face, on the side of my face. There's I have a, what do they call a dewlap, you know, turkey neck.
Turkey neck, that's the first thing to go.
Yeah, which you don't usually see when I'm looking forward. I mean, it's there, but it's not pronounced. When you do it to the side, you see it, you know. So, What, the first thing to go is a turkey neck?
Yeah, Dana Carver was telling me, like actors, that's the thing they really dread, the neck. They said the neck's the first thing to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Son of a gun. Has he had any work done?
He hasn't, no.
Okay.
We were talking about, I guess there's all kind of new things they got now that they can put like these strings by your ear and you can actually tighten your face up. Like
You can tighten your face?
Yeah, they can, or they can readjust it very easily. They just put these strings in, and you can go back and they can retighten them. And
oh God, that's horrible. Why would you do that to yourself?
Well, there's nothing worse than someone that gets a bad facelift.
And the trouble is, I don't know where they get their their information on who to go to, but they've got to be really great, facelift people, and they got to be terrible ones. And sometimes I look at people and I go, where did they get their facelift? Yeah. My God, at Sears?
There's probably some people whose bodies just don't adjust to it like the normal people do either.
I don't know. I think there's just such a thing as bad face jobs,
There's a lot of bad surgeons, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and there's some that are terrific. I mean, I see some people you don't notice the work, But I like actresses and actors who just say, fuck it, I'm not getting it done. I'm just going to age, and I'm going to get age-appropriate parts, I'm never going to play the guy who gets the young girl. I mean, in the end, when Cary Grant was doing a movie, his love interest was always 25, 30 years younger than he was.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I love to tell the story about North by Northwest. Cary Grant's mother in that film is played by an actress named Jessie Royce Landis. Okay, I think that was her name. And she played Cary Grant's mother. The problem was she was a year younger than Cary Grant.
Wow.
Yeah. And Jessie Royce Landis looked exactly like she could be, Cary Grant's mother. She was old enough. She was age appropriate. He wasn't, And he was always, his leading ladies were always young girls. And you're going, God, if I did that, everybody would be saying, God, he just goes after these teenagers, he goes after these kids. But it was okay if you're a movie actor.
Yeah, and I think he retired when he was 60.
Cary Grant? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And he got out, but he still appeared, I think he was he was very big in what particular fragrance company or something. He was he
was hawking some, yeah.
But he was on the board of directors of it. And he would show up occasionally, at functions and stuff, and you'd see him. And even till he died, I mean, I think he probably looked better 5 days dead than you and I look right now.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I don't think, did he ever, I don't recall him ever being on talk shows or anything.
You're right. I've never seen an interview with him.
Right.
I'm trying to remember. I go through, a lot of them on YouTube. And there's a lot of you find an Edward Murrow interview with so-and-so and this and that. And there's an interview or two with people like James Cagney. Humphrey Bogart appeared on the Jack Benny show. So
he did? Wow.
Yeah, he did. But I can't remember Cary Grant ever appearing in an interview.
Yeah, I can't remember at all.
I think maybe part of it had to do with the fact he didn't want to be questioned about his sexuality. And that might come up in an interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a theory he was gay. But, you have sex with a guy once and all of a sudden they say you're gay when really you were just experimenting. He was supposedly bisexual, And in his early days, he went for guys. He had a roommate. They called him a roommate, Randolph Scott, in the early days. And there are pictures of them at their, they're wherever it was. They had a pool and everything, their house. And it's like a married couple. They're sitting there with their dog and they're having breakfast together, and they're on what do you call it, board, jumping board. What do you call it going to a pool? Diving board. They're sitting on a diving board, kind of really next to each other. All those pictures are out there. The pictures are so gay, it's unbelievable. And then in later years, he got married, and he started seeing women. I mean, he was truly, I think, bisexual. He didn't care. He just wanted to have sex,
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, I think all of us have some homosexuality in us. It's just we never act on it. So, have you ever had a homosexual thought?
No, the thought of kissing a man kind of makes
Well,
me feel...
that's where it stops for me. I mean, it was I tell the story about how I was at an orgy. And why am I saying that questioningly? An orgy? No, it was an orgy. Anyway, and I'm making out with this woman and everything, and all of a sudden somebody is, how can I put it nicely, blowing me.
Jesus.
And I figure it's another woman, in this orgy, because that's the way things were in orgies. You find a penis, you do something to it. And I look down, and it's a guy.
Ugh.
And I said to myself, well, he's doing a really good job. I don't know if I should say stop or not. And he went on for a little while, and after a while, I just decided, it's the optics for me. and I asked him to stop. I said, no offense, but, I'm not into that. But it was interesting to me that for a while there, I didn't know whether it was a guy or a woman, and I didn't care. So does that make me gay?
I don't know.
I have a producer, Albert, who every time I bring up that story, he says, see, you're gay. And it's like the old joke about, could I be known as the greatest chef in the world? Bob, the great chef? No. Suck one dick, and you're, So I mean, I have had the thought of, well, maybe I should try it out just to see whether I'm gay or straight, because you don't know you're gay until you do that and find out. But I never got around to doing it. So, but I had a chance. I kind of found out in that incident. So, I was always just terminally, horribly straight,
What about J. Edgar Hoover?
Oh, J. Edgar Hoover was gay.
He was definitely gay, right?
Yeah, and his second in command, I'm trying to remember his name now, was his boyfriend, was his other significant other.
Guy, I think his name was Tolson.
Tolson, absolutely. And
well, how did they hide that?
I think it was one of those things everybody knew, but nobody said. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe people just didn't talk about. Maybe that was better. People just kind of kept private.
Well,
and didn't talk about
in
it.
his case, he had a lot of things on people, so you didn't want to do the, out him because he might come after you with all the information he had on you. So I mean. They just didn't bring it up while he was there. But there were stories about how he would show up at parties in dresses and things like that, and not hide it at all.
Insane.
We had a guy here in New York. He was Francis Cardinal Spellman. He was the cardinal of, the New York Archdiocese, which is St. Patrick's Cathedral. And he was a cardinal, and he used to show up in downtown in the gay bars, and where he was known as Aunt Franny. And he was always there, but yet nobody ever outed him.
Really?
Nobody ever outed him. No. But it was a known fact. I mean, it was so known. What am I? I'm in show business. I do a stupid little radio show. I'm not supposed to know anything. But yet, somehow, these things all came back to me, And, they talked about, who was it recently? Oh, that he was gay. I'm trying to remember now. Who was it? There was somebody recently who everybody found out he was doing it. Oh, yeah, it was Bill Cosby with his drugging women. Yeah. I knew about that back in the 70s. Maybe 60s. Everybody knew what he did.
You heard rumors?
There weren't even rumors. It was fact. People knew it. And yet nobody went after him for it. Nobody outed him or made a big deal out of it. But everybody knew that's what he did.
And he became this beloved icon.
Oh, absolutely. And everybody knew, including me.
Wow.
So it was a big deal.
I guess we're just boringly heterosexual.
Well, being bisexual, I suppose you have twice the fun, if you can do it. I'll tell you what turned me off at this guy who was filleting me, I shall say, so we can be monetized. Filleting me. He at one point his face touched my thigh, and it was like sandpaper.
Yeah.
And I went, somehow that isn't how it's supposed to feel, and that's when I called it all off. I told people ever since the thing that turned me off to being gay is stubble.
Stubble. That'll do it. That's good.
Yeah. But you've never even come close to that kind of situation.
No.
Have you? Yeah, well, I was in the theater, and I had directors who were gay, and they would come on to me, and I'd say, I'm not, just not gay, but, if I were, I wouldn't turn you down. And they would say, well, too bad, because, you're not going to get the part. No, too bad.
Yeah.
But, we appreciate that. Yeah, I was in the theater. I knew lots of gay people.
Well, theater is prominently gay, isn't it?
Yeah, well, did you ever have a gay friend? Yes, you did.
I've had several gay friends, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and what happened when you found out they were gay? Nothing, right?
No, all right.
We had a comic in San Francisco. What was his name? He died of AIDS.
Jim Samuels.
Jim Samuels.
The nicest guy in the world.
Absolutely. The one guy that I really felt bad about, because I had him on my show, and he wasn't very good. And I'm not very good. What I'm saying is, you had to be a certain kind of comic to come on my show. And
you had to be in the moment. Some comics can only come on and do their act.
That's exactly it. And finally, he wanted to come back on. I said, I really can't have you on. I said, you don't work on the show. It's not that you're not good. It's not that you're not great. But it doesn't come out on radio. I said, and I got to have comics who work on the show. And a lot of the comics who became big on my show weren't the funniest comics around.
No.
They were people who registered with the public, and when they came into the show, they didn't do their act. They just were funny naturally, And
I'd say the best evidence of that would be Kevin Meaney.
Kevin Meaney, though, is I think he was just... Kevin Meaney was so funny that I had to ask him to stop once because I was hurting. My stomach was...
Yeah.
I was hurting. And he was that kind of comic because his comedy was relentless. It would start building and building and building and building. And then it would become, he would do stuff where he was just repeating things over and over and over. But to such a degree that when he first started, you went, what's going on here? And by the time he was through, you were begging him to stop because your stomach was hurting so much from laughing. Am I right?
No, unbelievable, yeah. He was just so silly. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
We're not big pants people.
Now, that's not funny, but if he keeps saying that over and over and over again, after a while it becomes hilarious. And, and you're begging him to stop. But he was one of the best, I got to tell you. He was great. I also just saw a video of Warren Thomas, who's dead now. And Warren was great. Because Warren was the greatest riffer of all time.
He was a big riffer, yeah.
And how do we explain riffing to an audience who doesn't know what we're saying? Riffing is just ad-libbing.
Ad-libbing and being in the moment and not telling jokes.
You're not telling jokes, but having an attitude. Okay.
And it is like when it works, it's great. It's like walking a high wire, but when it doesn't work,
it just doesn't work.
No.
You know. But to be funny on my show was different than, just being funny. He went on to win, Jim Samuels, the San Francisco Comedy Competition, and not without reason. He was a very good stand-up comic in a club, but it just didn't come out on the air. And I always felt bad about that because I liked Jim, And sometimes some people would take it as an insult. But sometimes they would take it as an insult when I would do a comedy show and I would put the best comic I had was, of course, the headliner. But the second best comic I had to open the show. Because I figured you want somebody good to open the show. Most times they put on the third or fourth person to open the show.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah.
Which is terrible. It's terrible because so it starts out unfunny. Wow, this is a comedy show. And then it builds to being funny? No, I put the weakest act in the middle.
Yeah, if you start to show off bad, I think people start to wonder, did we make a mistake coming here?
Yeah. And then that's life. Well, anyway, enough about comedy. Oh, by the way, how's your comedy career going?
It's sputtering along, so...
Sputtering along?
Yes.
Well, you can't go over and work some of the clubs because either they want a major headliner now,
or you're aged out, so.
Or you're aged out, or they want you as a second or third act and they don't pay crap.
Yeah, and there's so many people doing comedy now. It's just not.
There were a lot of people.
It doesn't feel like a special profession anymore.
Yeah, but there were a lot of people doing comedy back in the day when we were involved in it, or I was involved in it.
Yeah.
Think about it. There was a comic coming in every other day.
Well, the boom brought them out. Yeah, I think it kept going.
There was a big comedy boom, folks, in the 80s. When all these comics were coming out from, especially Boston. Boston was the big. They hatched comics, and then the comics came out to they didn't go to L.A. Some of them went to L.A., but you wanted to go to San Francisco first because you really wanted to hone your act. Then you go down to L.A. and then hopefully you'll make it or not make it.
And the comics that came out from Boston to San Francisco were Paula Poundstone, Kevin Meaney,
Bob Goldthwait, Tom Kenny. We could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Who was the big comic in Boston, though? I'm trying to remember his name now.
Lenny Clark.
Lenny Clark. There's a great story about Lenny Clark. That he got drunk one night. Well, he would get drunk every night in those days. And Lenny Clark went to this house where Julia Child lived.
Really?
And at 3 o'clock in the morning was yelling outside her window, "Wake up, bitch, and make me breakfast."
I didn't hear that one.
I mentioned it to Lenny Clark. He said, "Yeah, I think I did that. I was drunk a lot of nights, and I might have well done that." But the legend was that's what he did.
Yeah, that's the Boston scene was crazy. There's some documentary here. One night he did 9 sets and made thousands of dollars. Did a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah. Lenny Clark was very big out there.
Huge.
But a lot of them came out here, and Bob Goldthwait came out here and came on my show and became a huge comic in San Francisco. Just huge.
Yeah.
You can't remember a success like that, So anyway, that's a history of us in San Francisco. We're reminiscing. 2 old farts.
Talking about the old days.
How old are you now? 75? 74?
Yeah, 73.
73. Well, I was close.
You're close.
Yeah, and so we're 2 old farts talking about the grand old days. Anyway, if I'm still alive, I'll see you next week. How about that?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Larry Bubbles Brown.
Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, thank you, Larry. Appreciate it. It's great. It's terrific. It's wonderful. You know, it hit me. I suddenly realized, what happened was I put in a whole new computer over here, new PC. So I had to move all my stuff over from the other computer, and I put some stuff in that was wrong. One of which was a promo, where we did all the shows that are on GabNet. And I put the wrong one in, and it still promotes Jack Bishop, who we all know is not only not on here any longer, but he happens to be not with us any longer. He passed away. And then right after that, I run another promo, and I realized I've been running this a little bit for a while for the intersection, and I kind of cleaned it up. But I guess I didn't when I moved it over because...
Jack Bishop's Intersection, tonight at midnight Eastern on GabNet.
See what I'm talking about? So, I've been screwing up like crazy, I got to tell you. And then, I'll tell you how I screwed up on the interview with Bubs. I talked about Bob Goldthwait coming up here. Well, I'm not in California anymore. But I still think when I talk about that show back there... I keep thinking I'm back in California. Who knew? Who cares? Anyway, there's some people trying to get on here, only about 3 of them, but we'll get joined by more, I'm sure, as we get going. Let me see here. Where are we? There we go. There's Mark Thorner. And there is another one of my favorites, the lovely and attractive Charlie Wallace, and Josh Wheeler is supposed to be joining us. There we go. He just popped in too. So, hi to all of you. I keep screwing up more and more. I moved all this stuff over, and I figured I moved the right stuff over, and I didn't move the right stuff over. And it's been there for like a month or so. And I've used some of it and haven't even noticed it because I go out of the room while all that stuff's playing. So anyway, and then I started the stream and stopped the stream, and I screwed up a lot tonight. So, but we're here and we're alive and we're kicking in. Here comes Alan as well. He's joining us. A lot of times we only see the top of his hat, but what the heck, How's everything going with you, Charlie Wallace? So we'll start with Charlie.
All right. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. My favorite childhood memory is my back not hurting. Yeah. Well, you're starting to wear more and more shirts about being old, aren't you?
Well, I'm just getting older.
Yeah. And it doesn't get any more fun, does it?
No.
Just the opposite, actually.
Yeah.
I was talking.
Kinds of things I used to be able to do, I can't do.
I was talking to somebody today who's turning 75, and they were complaining about the fact that they can't afford health insurance, and they don't have a job right now, so they don't have any money coming in, so they're having a hard time paying their rent, and the prices are so high for food they can't afford to buy it. And I went, geez almighty, thank God, I'm okay. I'm in decent shape. But you look at that, and then he said, I just hope I die in the next year or so.
Oh, God.
And then I won't have to deal with all of this.
Yeah,
because when you're dealing every day, and most people are this way in America, dealing every day of your life, just trying to keep ahead of the curve, you're in trouble. And then all of a sudden you get to be an old person and you can't get a job anymore, and you're getting Medicare. That's fine. That's the little perk. But maybe you aren't getting a lot of Medicare, but you're getting some. And you just can't afford any of this stuff, And I just go, it's not right,
No, it's not. But I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones that I don't have all those problems.
Yeah, well, I because I've come into some money, I was thinking bailing this guy out. And then I thought about it. It's only going to bail him out for this month.
Right.
So next month, the same problem happens. So we're not abating the problem by taking care of it, you know? It's horrible. It's terrible.
It is. There's one party you can blame for a lot of this.
Well, yeah, and then that same party you couldn't blame years ago. You know, they went along with stuff. They went along with what's his name when he wanted to do Medicare, Johnson. LBJ when he wanted to do, you know, he just got it done. Plus, you had a guy there in Johnson who knew, because he was in Congress, knew how to just rally those people and make them vote for something, you know.
Yeah.
But now it just seems that they, you know, they're all just, you know, they don't want to do this because the Democrats would do that, you know. But get together and figure out something, because your job in Congress and your job as a senator is to watch out for people, to watch out for your constituents, to bring the best back for them. You know,
that's not what the Republicans think.
Well, you know, they're beginning to come into line a little bit, because I think they're starting to realize that this guy Trump isn't very good for them. You know, to begin with, he's a lame duck president. That's something people forget to mention. He's a lame duck president, and what good is it to get behind him? He's not going to be there to help you in, say, 4 years when you're running for re-election.
Or even tomorrow.
Yeah, he
doesn't help anybody now.
Doesn't help anybody.
Well, you know, look at what happened. You know, we lost a person who has said that they are going to be not running again for congressperson. And tonight they announced that they weren't going to be running. And that was Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know if any of you saw it, because she announced it late tonight that she's not going to run again. And she's not going to run again because I think she doesn't feel that she can win with Trump against her in her area. Right. On the other hand, she says she's leaving in January. I think she's going to run for Senate, you know, or she's going to run for governor or something.
Yeah, she's going for higher office.
Well, with her constituency, she's still popular, and she's gotten popular somewhat with the Democrats now, all of a sudden. So, you know, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Marjorie Taylor Greene. But we could sure use her now, you know, because she, in many cases, would be the dissenting vote with the Republicans. So what are we going to do? Anyway, so that's the big story tonight. That, and that our supposed commie mayor-to-be met with Trump today. And suddenly Trump loves him. You know, anytime anybody comes face-to-face with him, he falls apart. No. You know, this is a guy, he's been calling Mondami a commie, a communist. And today it was like, I would watch the press conference. So they were there together, and Trump couldn't be more wonderful about him and happy that he's mayor of New York City, where a few days ago he said, we're not sending anybody to New York. No, that communist is in office.
Well, that worries me now.
Why?
What did Mondami say to make Trump like him?
No, all he did was tell him what he felt the needs of New York City were. And they kind of both agreed on it. You know, that we wanted, Mondami said he wanted to do away with crime. You know, crime was on still, even though it's lower than it's been in a long time, it's still too high. And he also said that, you know, they agreed that prices should come down, and, you know, that's all the stuff that Mondami has been preaching. And he said, we're pretty much on the same page with those things. We may disagree with how to do them, you know. He said, but we had a very nice conversation. And I'm sure Mondami won him over. I think he just won him over by saying, hello, here I am. You know, and now you're having to face the guy you've called a commie for the last couple of months. And suddenly you find out I'm a pretty charming guy, you know. So anyway, so he just was fawning over Mondani, and I don't think Mondani, he's not known for giving an inch. He's not going to kiss your ass just to get something. He's going to be very. I'm sure he went in respectful of Trump, and Trump apparently became very respectful of him. And he had to go to New York. He had to go to Washington because he has to bring back stuff for New York, and he has to make sure that New York gets its full share of, federal budgets and things like that. So being a good mayor is making sure the president doesn't exactly hate you. But he didn't do it by giving anything up. In fact, they asked him in the press conference, "Did you call the president a fascist?" And he started to hem and haw a little bit, looking for a nice way to answer it. And Trump looked at him and said, go ahead, just reach into it and tell him what you said. He said, "I called you a fascist." So I feel good for New York, because New York's maybe not going to hurt for not getting a lot of federal funding. And if this means that he's not going to send the troops in here, fine. That's fine with me too. What do you think about it, Mark?
I have no bone in this anymore. I'm not a New Yorker.
Yeah, but
No, seriously. It's like, okay, I'm like,
I was born in New York. Alex, where were you born?
I was born in San Francisco, California.
Ah, you're a carpetbagger.
No, I'm not a carpetbagger. No, I'm more.
You're not a true New Yorker. I was born.
I will explain to you why I'm a true New Yorker. My mother was born and raised in New York. And she spent most of the time raising me because my father was out on the road earning a living to pay the rent, okay? And she was a New Yorker. And when I never felt comfortable in California, to tell you the truth. When I was growing up, I was like the only Jew practically in my neighborhood, and it just was, I never felt comfortable. The minute I wound up in New York, I said, this is where I belong, And you disagree with him, by the way, don't you, Mark? You just gave a kind of a no. You consider me a New Yorker, right?
When I was a kid, you were on the radio, so you were a New Yorker.
I'm a New Yorker. Yeah. So anyway, I really, and all of a sudden when I came to New York, I'm this ugly Jewish kid from California. That's how I always perceived of myself. And when I wound up in New York, all of a sudden these women were coming on to me. And I just realized that being Jewish was kind of a cool thing, So anyway, that's my thinking.
Never getting tired of the foreskin with all the Puerto Ricans in New York.
What? Why do you say? Huh?
What?
I know. I agree. I agree with you, Josh. I just saw Josh's look. What?
So the women came on to you because you were Jewish, because you were circumcised, versus the Puerto Ricans who are not. And there's a lot of Puerto Ricans in New York.
I don't think it had anything to do with having a foreskin or not having a foreskin, because once you're erect, it doesn't really matter, does it?
That I can't comment on because I don't really pay that much close. Anyhow, okay, yeah, I'll agree with you.
Well, I can say that because I used to have a foreskin for about a week and a half.
Right.
No, I don't think I had a bris. I think they did it right at the hospital, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze.
The doctor had a cigar cutter with you, and he just said, let's cut it off with this.
Oh, yeah, it's fine, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, anyway, how's everything in Malaysia?
Well, it's going okay. I'll give you a story from this morning that will basically tell you all you need to know about Malaysia. Mm-hmm. So I have a refrigerator. It was making some noises the last couple days. So I sent
an email. This better get interesting because you started off. That's a very dull beginning. Okay.
All right. The fridge was on the fritz.
Yeah, the fridge.
Making some wild noises.
Okay.
So I said, so anyway, whenever they call you, this guy only calls, like it's only talking. Well, and it's a good thing I've lived here for years, because I guarantee if I put this guy on the phone, you'd say, is he speaking English? So anyway, he ends up coming today, and he brings his son with him. His son is on the spectrum. So I have to sort of babysit his son while he's looking at the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling him all the things that are going wrong with it. Not getting cold, blah, blah. Long story short, he pops up in the back, listens to it, puts it back on 20 minutes, and he says, well, it might be this, might be that. If it makes the noise again, give me a call. That's $30. So that is the whole thing here. Like
this story has not gotten better.
Well, the story has ended. So, but that tells you that is Malaysia. Like you can't get a professional licensed person who actually can come and fix what it is that's wrong. They basically just come and take the lamp, take the money, and and I had to babysit for him for that time, and his son had to use the restroom. It was like, I felt like I was providing the service.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, the PM here has taken a lot of flack since when Trump was here. Apparently, Trump made a deal with him, and everybody thinks that the sky is falling. Like they shouldn't have made this deal. And some people asked for the PM to step down and go out of office, and it was a little ridiculous because it looks like it's a pretty good deal, but
yeah.
So that was like sort of the fallout.
Well, they're all kind of being nice to him because they want they don't want the tariff to go crazy,
Right.
What happened today? But another thing happened today, and this is, I think, a very unpopular thing for Trump to do. Not that he is an expert at that, but pasta from Italy is going to have 107% tariff on it. How many of us like spaghetti? How many of us like pasta here? Just raise your hand, okay?
The new song from Le Seraphim.
Yeah, I mean, we all love pasta. Now it's going to be 107% more expensive.
Well, not here.
Not
here. It's cheap here.
I imagine, but it's going to be cheap in some some places. It's going to be cheap because they're just going to make their own pasta,
Yeah.
But things like Barilla, which I love, as a store-bought pasta,
Barilla
is going to have 107% tariff on it. Ridiculous. I mean, the tariffs only punish the American people.
Yeah.
Josh didn't raise his hand when I said who likes pasta.
But wait, aren't we getting $2,000, Alex? I thought we were all getting a check.
Are you
I'm waiting for my check?
Don't hold your breath.
I'm hoping to get it,
Well, Congress would rather he spend it to bring down the debt, but quite frankly, I don't think that's going to bring the debt down much. What would you do with $2,000, Josh?
I really don't know, to be honest with you.
You're supposed to pay your medical. That's $2,000 to take care of your medical expenses.
Well,
how many here have medical expenses? And how many of you can say it's under $2,000? Trouble is you got a president who's never lived as a common person. Nope. He doesn't know. A lot of people, who are congressmen and senators and run for president and so on, at one time were just like you and me, okay? But he's never been like you and me. And no jokes on that. I mean, he just hasn't. He hasn't lived as a common human being. And so he doesn't know that, you got to pay for this and you got to pay for that. He doesn't know what it's like to pay rent. When's the last time he ever paid rent?
Never.
Groceries. It's a nice word.
Yes. I know. He said that. Groceries, interesting word. Yeah, it's a word we use every day of the week when we go to the grocery store.
I know about it, you fucking orange-headed fucking...
And he keeps claiming how the price of gas is so low, but you can tell he's never had to put gas in his own tank.
Especially in California.
Well, California, it's always been high because you've got all those extra taxes for various things and so on.
Yep.
Did you hear that? Who is it? Swalwell. Swalwell.
Yeah, Swalwell.
Announced last night on the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Jimmy Kimmel.
That he's running for governor of California.
Yeah.
So is Steyer again.
Huh?
Steyer is doing it again too, Mr. Billionaire.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
Yeah. Tom Steyer.
In California, it's strange. Am I right about this? It isn't necessarily that you're going to have a Republican and Democrat running against each other. It can be two Democrats running against each other, right? Because what's the deal?
Yeah, which was New York City.
No,
last time.
No, what happened in New York was Cuomo didn't win the primaries, okay? So he didn't run as a Democrat. He ran as a something else. I can't remember what it is. Independent, yeah. So that was his it wasn't like it was two Democrats running against each other. Yeah, but there was also a Republican as well. But what I'm saying in California...
But you're saying in the general election, two Democrats can run?
In California, if two Democrats, get the most votes in a primary or something, they then both become the people running against each other for the governorship or for whatever office in California.
Huh.
It's a free-for-all.
It's a free-for-all, yeah. And that's why
won't Steyer run as a Republican?
Yes, he will.
I think the billionaire runs as a Republican, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, he's
a lightweight Republican, he says.
A lightweight?
He knows the people. He's part of the people.
Yeah, I don't know if Steyer, does he run all the time now? Is he one of those perpetual candidates?
He ran last time, and he's got billions of dollars, and I don't think he got shit last time, but...
Yeah.
He claims to be, of the people for the... He's trying to be like a Mamdani, I think, this time.
Well,
I've only seen a couple of his.
You got to say, to begin with, the thing I loved about Mamdani was that he never denied his political bent. Okay, he always said, "I'm a democratic socialist." He never played cutesy on that one. He just said, "This is what I am."
And he went to see the president today too.
Yeah. First commie to go over visit the president.
Right, and then Trump made good friends with him too.
On that?
What?
And Trump kissed his ass too.
Yeah, Trump kissed his ass. He didn't kiss Trump's ass. That's what I like about it.
If you haven't seen it, I recommend The Daily Show. They went and interviewed the head of the American Communist Party. And they said, "Is Mamdani a communist?" And the guy said, "No way. He is not. He's not in our party. He's nothing like us."
Yeah.
And he listed a whole bunch of reasons why. And it was obviously it's Daily Show, so it was very funny.
Well, the trouble is Trump doesn't know the difference between a communist and a socialist. There's a...
Well, the NFL is socialist.
Yeah.
Hey, the United States of America, for the most part, is socialistic. They don't realize that, but it is.
Medicare is socialist. Social Security is socialist.
How about your fire department, your police department?
Fire department, yep.
That's all. That's socialism. That you all pay a bunch of money to go in and make these things work for everybody. So
military. Yeah.
The military, of course, is socialistic. Most of America is socialistic, and all the politics in Washington, all the departments. The Department of Energy is socialistic. I mean, am I right? I'm not wrong, am I on that one, Mark?
Yeah.
Huh? No. Mark just, in case you're listening to just the audio version of the show, Mark just nodded no.
Mm-hmm.
Most systems are mixed. Most systems are hybrid or mixed.
Yeah.
And, they have multiple layers at different, regional, local, national, international.
Well,
there's
purely communistic countries aren't mixed.
I would disagree. You tell me what is a pure communist in your thinking.
Well, to begin with, China is a new kind of communism. You know,
the China. You've been there, Alex. You know, Shanghai is more capitalistic than anything I've ever seen.
I wasn't in Shanghai. I was in Beijing.
Oh, go to Shanghai.
Well, I'm not going to Shanghai. But I was in Beijing, and I was out in the country. Went out into the country, and that's a communist country, but under Deng Xiaoping years ago, he decided that he would experiment with capitalism down in Hong Kong, and it worked. Shanghai, rather, it worked. And so they said, okay, we'll let the whole country do it. And when Mike Wallace was interviewing Deng Xiaoping, he said to him, I thought you hated capitalism. He says, no, I don't hate capitalism as long as you have capitalism where everybody benefits from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that we don't have here. We should have capitalism, but as long as it benefits everybody.
That's exactly right. And when I was there, I just thought it was capitalism on steroids.
Oh, when I was there, it was too. Not so much now because they're a little bit. They're not letting the capitalists have a good time of it, you know. And
they've reined a lot in. Even the performers and the actors and the musicians.
Yeah.
They've had to
when I went to
China,
which was about 10 years ago, maybe. Yeah, it had to be 10 years ago. Maybe less than that. Maybe 10 years ago. It was. I thought it was wonderful. I just, I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the people. I enjoyed the food. We went other places in China besides Beijing. And we fully enjoyed it. It was the most wonderful trip I've ever taken in my life. Period. So, anyway, how you doing, Josh? You're being very quiet tonight.
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good too. Anything you want to talk about?
No, I don't think there's much in particular. It's been same stuff for a few days. It's don't really know what motivated Congresswoman Green there to resign, but
it was motivated by Trump's attitude towards her and her realization that she would have a hard time winning in her area if she didn't have Trump's support.
Yeah, but I suppose that seems a little different. That's basically just not running for re-election. But what makes the desire to basically leave the job halfway through the term is interesting.
I think it has something to do, and I may be wrong about this, but I think it has a lot to do with the fact I think she's thinking of running for something else. I'm
not sure.
And so she'll make the grand gesture of leaving her job at this point as a shout out to what Trump did to her.
Yeah, I know I listened to some programming the other day on Sirius where some people were discussing that all of the polling that they had seen and that her own team had done said that she had no chance in a statewide election in Georgia. So I don't know what she would be thinking, but I guess it said that for whatever polling is worth. But I guess it was so lopsided.
But also,
even if you say I don't trust polls, apparently it was incredibly lopsided. That.
Yeah, but when to begin with was the poll taken, and is because recently she's kind of changed. She almost seems sane now.
Well, yeah, she has certainly said things lately, including today, that I think is correct. She made some statements today where she said, that the legislative branch has basically just ceased to exist. They just basically do whatever the president says.
She's insisted that MAGA's going to hell, and it is.
That the legislature was meant to do that, and I would agree. The legislature was meant to be, the most active of the three branches. In fact, I mean, in design at the convention, that would have been that was the idea, the design, not just idea. That's what was implemented. So, I would agree with certain things like that. That she said. I would agree with her when she says that whether you think the things that are happening are okay or not, these are not the things that the President of the United States campaigned on, for example. A war in Venezuela or a this, that, and the other, these are not items that, these are not things that he said in the campaign. In fact, they're much the opposite.
Well, in fact, MAGA kind of is against foreign wars.
Well, they're supposed to be, right?
They think we waste our time on that. I mean, they don't want us going into Ukraine even, So that went against their basic philosophy,
Did you raise the issue about the senator who brought up the issue with disagreeing?
What?
There were a bunch of them put out an ad.
Oh yeah, no, we I don't know if we talked about it, but yeah, they took out they put together a video, about 6 of them maybe. How many was it? 7. They were all in either the military or the CIA, and they all told the soldiers, they told some military people, you have the right to refuse an order if you feel it's to do something illegal or that goes against the Constitution. And that's true. That's the Uniform Code of Justice says that, So...
but they were threatened with arrest and death.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up on us a little bit. Your sound gets weird there. But Trump then said, this amounts to sedition, and they could be hung for this. Well, to begin with, how many states hang people anymore? Secondly, he just, I think he wakes up in the morning and says, what can I do to make the news today? And he just comes out with all these ridiculous statements like that one. Yes.
I would love to ask him, Mr. President, could you explain what sedition means?
Well, I mean...
I don't think he actually knows.
Well, I ask him to define communism. He probably doesn't know.
Probably not.
But ask him what how to improve the looks of the White House, and he's got his opinion on that one. Oh God! Every time I see anybody in that room, it just makes me throw up. Well, what the hell? So, how's the weather down there, Mark Thorner? Mark Thorner, how's the weather down there?
Been great here, Alex.
Yeah, because I did Lori the other day, and she's sitting in her backyard, and squirrels are running around in back of her, and the leaves are kind of falling, and it was just looked kind of idealistic, very nice, very nice. Up here, it's been cold as a bitch. Not that I want to say that bitches are cold. Excuse me, but it's been cold. A witch's tit. Well, not that I want to say anything bad about witches nor their tits.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was.
Alex.
Yeah.
I don't mean to take you back off that topic. I'm just concerned about something.
Your audio is just terrible.
Earphones.
I think it's you're using your earphones.
These are Sony. These are XM.
I don't give a crap. They're not working right.
Well, it might be because there's a lot of Bluetooth around. Anyway, I'm just saying, what if Trump kills people? What if he does?
What do you mean if he does? He already has killed people.
I mean, those who were on it.
He's already killed what? How many people on those boats in Venezuela? Something like
22, I think.
22? Yeah, he's killed 22 people. So, but
I'm worried about those people who are coming out and saying things. I'm worried about AOC. I'm worried about her safety.
The only thing, yeah, you're right about that. The worst thing about him saying these things about these people is not that they're gonna go execute them or even put them on trial, but that now a lot of people will try to kill them. You know? And that's the horrible thing about it. All these people that he suddenly decides to put down have to go out and get extra security because their lives are threatened. Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's been threatened, you know, and that she's had to put on extra, you know, what do you call it, people to protect her. So anyway. It's you know what a time we live in. Isn't this wonderful? Yeah.
Just lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I watched the, you know, regardless of feelings on him, I watched pretty much the entire funeral for Dick Cheney the other day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was off, and it really unconnected really to Dick Cheney the person was just that, you know, one of these funerals, since Trump wasn't there, you know,
He wasn't
it's
invited.
A reminder,
Yeah, he wasn't invited.
but it's a reminder of a way that, you know, like I almost in a way felt like, you know, with George W. Bush, for example, if I ever met him or whatever, you know, I might say that, you know, when you were in office, you know, I really didn't like you and just but I treated you unfairly because now I realized, you know, that there is another level above my political disagreement with you. And a lot of us probably let it go too far with, you know, how much we didn't like him and et cetera. And the other side, you know, the same thing with Obama or whatever. And now that we've reached like an upper level, we see that people like George W. Bush, for example, or for the other side, you know, I would hope that they would realize someone like Barack Obama, at the end of the day, were not the villains that they were being made out to be. They were just people that, you know, you didn't agree with politically, and you needed to just continue to vote and you know, do things like that, you know, because I think right now what we're seeing is manifested as what we used to think of those people as, you know, a villain or a person only out for themselves, or, you know, I mean, so that's what I'm saying. Like, our fears were not founded, you know, in that period, and now they are, you know. So, I mean, you know, I see George Bush at a few of these funerals, and, you know, he's giving a very nice speech or whatever, and, you know, I look at him, and, you know, he doesn't bother me the way that he once did, you know.
It reminded me a lot of
time, it's perspective, you know.
It reminded me a lot of the McCain service. I did the same thing. It was the same kind of deal. I don't know if he was. I don't remember if Trump was at the McCain service. But the McCain service was a lot like the Cheney one.
Well, you know,
it was civilized. These people got together, knowing that they're dignitaries, and they got together and they didn't sit there and talk shit. You know, it was civilized.
Well, you know, the thing is that my feeling about George Bush always was that while he was president, I disliked him intensely because I didn't like the way he was doing business. Yeah, and I felt it was really wrong. Once he was no longer president, he doesn't have to be that way. He doesn't have to have any sway over our lives. And now you can judge him for the way you see him act in public. And he's always been a pretty good guy, you know. I don't think he even wanted to be president, to tell you the damn truth. I mean, somebody said once he probably would have been happier being commissioner of baseball. You know,
probably,
yeah. So.
Well, but I mean, you know, I'm just saying the perspective amongst, you know, the event was just a reminder for me. You know, maybe it wasn't for other people. I don't know, because what you tend to get is, well, I hated Dick Cheney. I'm glad he's dead. Or, well, okay, but if we keep going on down that path, you know, it leads to.
Well, I don't like Dick.
But we did go down that path.
You know, so
we went down that path. We're on that path.
I understand. That's my point. You know, was if we continue it's not going to go away. You know, so you know, I mean, that's what I'm saying is at the end of it, your agreement or disagreement or like or dislike of that person or another particular person, it can kind of just be irrelevant. And you can just say, okay, they were a public servant and they've died, and this is what we do for a public servant of that level, and that's nice. And then we go on about it.
What I
Trump is
thought.
the one who has driven a lot of this negativity.
What I thought about today when I saw they were showing parts of Cheney's funeral and they were talking about it and whatever, and all I could think of was they're having him cremated. Do they remove the artificial heart first before they cremate him? That's the only thing I thought of when it came to Dick Cheney.
Heart death. I don't know.
They must take it out then.
I think they'd have to. Somebody referred to. Well, he was a heartless human being.
He really was.
He really was a heartless human being.
Literally,
he did not have a heart.
Literally was. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's surprising he lived as long as he did on that thing.
Yeah, 84, right?
Yeah.
Alex, if he was born probably 20 years earlier, he'd probably be dead.
Well, I wouldn't cry about that one either.
True, we wouldn't have been in that war, though.
But
I'm not sure he didn't have a real heart in yet.
No, he didn't have. He did not have a beating heart.
He could have flown to Cambodia.
Oh,
they'll put one in for him.
Yeah, for about 35 cents or something. But anyway.
But I'm just saying that the people who spoke and especially his daughter and others, that had, they would have good reason to, take shots at Trump or whatever, but they didn't do those kinds of things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're not classless individuals. And that's, I guess that's what I'm saying is, for all of the disdain or whatever that I might have had for George W. Bush or whatever, looking back, I can at least say, what? It could have been a lot worse. We could have had a completely classless.
No, well, these were all people that really believed in the democracy and the preservation of the democracy. Yes. And whether they were Republican or Democrat, they were good about that. Nobody tried to destroy the democracy.
They respected the system.
Yes,
even if the system was flawed.
Yeah.
And the system is flawed, but what can we do?
Most systems
Trump's
are
blowing it up.
Yeah.
Trump's blowing it up. The trust he has lost in the world, we're not going to be able to get that back very easily, if at all.
You say we. You haven't lived in the United States for like 20 years. What do you mean we?
I got a passport and I pay my tax.
Well, I'm giving you the same thing you gave me at the beginning about New York. You haven't been here in 20 years.
But I was born there.
Yeah, but you were too much of a coward to stay. So anyway,
no. I didn't get a rent deal like you.
Well, if you ain't got that,
give me a rent deal like you. I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Hello,
I'll be there yesterday.
Hello, Tony. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. My brother saw the new. Took my niece to see that movie, The Wicked. He said it was bad, Alex.
Well, it's terrible. The reason it's terrible is, to begin with, the Broadway show was no great shakes. It had two show-stopping tunes in it, okay? And they were all in the first act. And that's what you saw with the movie, the last movie. The new movie doesn't have any great showstoppers.
He just got in. He said, "What did you watch?" I said, "I watched The Wizard of Oz, and then I watched the making of it." W.C. Fields was going to be the big guy behind the curtain, but he couldn't get the role.
The Wizard. It's called the Wizard.
He was asking for more money.
Yeah, shoot the dog, okay?
I know. I gotta get another dog, Alex. I gotta tell you this.
Is that a new one?
Yeah.
That's a puppy then. The puppies bark. Anyway.
I like hearing the dog talk more than Tony.
Oh, come on. Come on. Be nice.
I am. Is he going to come out?
See, this is what Trump has done to us.
What? Yes.
We can't even be civil here.
About other people's dogs. You're not living in the same place anymore, are you, Tony? Where are you living?
Oh, no. I mean, this is my apartment upstairs. Then when Shaggy came up, sometimes I call you downstairs, and where my warehouse is the other apartment. So this is my mom's house. This is the first floor.
Okay, but what happened? Didn't you sell it or rent it out or something?
We rent upstairs. We finally rented upstairs to a nice couple, and my brother's looking for a house right now. We're looking for a house. Maybe we're going to keep this though. We don't know where to go yet though. He's got 2 more years left.
Does a barking dog come with the rent?
Well, they have 2 upstairs, Alex, and all they do, 2 poodles, is run up and down the stairs. I know they're not out. Bingo and Benny, they're the typical same dog. And all they do is scratch on I told the guy, you got to handle these dogs. He lets them run down the steps and they sit there scratching because they want to see pebbles. I got to lock the door because they sit by my door.
So why aren't you looking into your camera? What are you looking at?
I'm looking at a comic list from this guy who sent me. So I'm looking
I see. Sorry.
And on a spreadsheet.
Sorry,
so
we got between you and business. Yeah.
Hey Tony, did you see that they sold the first Superman for $9 million?
I wonder, is that accurate? I got to look it up on I have a source.
That's what they said last night. I think it was.
That's accurate.
That was
highest sold ever.
Was it Heritage?
It's got to be. It's Action Comics.
Original,
right?
1939.
Yeah, they found it in a box. Their mom
was
had
born in
Gee, I was born the same year that came out.
I was going to say you were 39. My dad was 37.
And you're almost worth as much, Alex.
I want to get a book from those years: 37, 38, 39, 40, 41.
Well, we'll find out if I'm worth that much when we do the show in San Francisco.
Alex, you were born 40, right?
I was born in 1939.
30. That's the greatest year in movies, they were saying. I was just watching when they were showing The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Well, 38. Was it 38 or 39?
No, 39.
39. Yeah, they showed all the movies that were made that year. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. And, some of them were made then and then not released till 40, too. I mean, Citizen Kane was released in, I think, 1940. Not 39,
Alex, the guy who did Wizard of Oz, I think they said, unless I heard it wrong, he did 2 movies that year that he directed. Is that true?
Yes, he directed Gone with the Wind.
That's what it was. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. That's
Victor Fleming.
Yeah, Victor Fleming. It's funny, a lot of people directed The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Because it started out being George Cukor, and then they brought in Fleming, but then Fleming had to go and do Gone with the Wind, so they brought somebody else in to finish it.
And Shirley Temple was going to get the lead for Judy Garland, but they said she couldn't sing good enough.
Good.
Yeah, they was just.
Jeez, wow. Your dog won't shut the funk up. Is that the other dog? No, that's the new dog. Yeah.
The other dog might be born December 15th. I'm on the waiting list.
What?
Yeah, I'm on the list for a guy upstate, husband and wife, near Woodstock. We're gonna name him Hershey. I think either he or she.
Wait a minute. You're on the list for what?
The next litter for chocolates.
For what?
A chocolate puppy to go with Pebbles.
A chocolate puppy.
Yeah.
Chocolate Labrador.
He's got me for $2,300. I already gave him $200. I says, "Are you sure she's pregnant?" He says, "I know she's pregnant. I've been doing this 20 years." I'm questioning the guy. So the belly is big.
I don't like it when people breed dogs like that because they're really doing a terrible thing to the dog they're breeding.
Well, he says he only does so many litters.
Am I going to be too old? Answer me this one. I'll ask Mark this because he'll have an opinion on this. Every year, they go upstate New York and they chop down a tree that's like 100 years old and still healthy, by the way, and chop it down and bring it down and put it in Rockefeller Center. Is that right?
Why not?
Why don't they get one big fake tree, and live with that?
First off, there are a lot of trees in upstate New York.
Oh, okay. Well, the one they got this time was planted by their great-grandparents in their backyard.
So, when you chop it down, you have growth,
Do you know, a couple of years ago, they brought one back and it still had a squirrel in it?
I can believe it.
I don't know. It just bothers something that bothers me about that. Am I wrong? I guess I'm.
It's such a New York tradition, Alex, that even this Jew doesn't mind it. I mean, in fact, there was something very comforting.
Did you ever feel as a Jew, though, that the giant menorah meant anything to you?
What giant menorah? The ones that
they always have a giant menorah. It's down at the beginning of, I think, Central Park.
I thought it was great.
Really? Yeah. I always felt it was okay. You got your Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center, so you gave us a menorah at the beginning of Central Park. Big deal. Thank you. You know, thank you for nothing. Anti-Semitism still exists. You know?
But at least it's like just that little thorn. It's like, yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they every year. I don't know if I haven't been. I don't go out much, so I don't know if it's down there at the beginning of But
it was. I just remember. I think when I was working early on, it was for CBS in the promotions department, and I had to. We had a Christmas Eve party. No work got done. We were drunk. And for some reason, I was going to my best friend's place, got out late, and New York, Manhattan, Fifth Avenue was empty. I mean, like abandoned. I walked down. It was like having it all to myself. All the windows, all the Christmas windows. There's the tree. You know
what I used to do? Here's how I shop for Christmas, for my friends, of course. I would go shopping for Christmas, but you know what I would shop? Christmas Eve. I would go down to Macy's and run through the store like it was supermarket sweep and just pick up. I'll get this, and I get this, and I get this. Wrap it, and take them all home. Okay? And there was nobody there. Yeah. I had a run of the place. The only thing I didn't get were the better prices I would have gotten on the day following the 25th. But, what the hell? So, how many of you are happy Christmas is coming? Because my father used to have a saying, and I love mentioning it this time of the year.
I remember he said,
Christmas is at our throats again. That's what he used to say every year.
Get the charge cut out, my brother used to say.
Huh?
Get the charge cut out. You know how many times?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't remember now, but now I do. My brother's like, I used to cry for like the superhero figures. And my mother used to, my brother, who was older than me, he used to say, Leo, we got to take the charge out. We got to get him this.
Yeah. By the way, I'm looking at our Malaysian feed, and apparently Bree is out buying softies.
At McDonald's.
Huh?
At McDonald's, no less.
They don't serve those at McDonald's here, do they?
Not like this. It looks like they have a full ice cream menu there, Alex.
Yeah.
Well, they do have soft ice cream walk still. I know that. I get it once in a while.
Yeah. Do they have the what do you call it, the McRib at all? Do they do that?
No, you gotta be kidding. We've been having that. That's corn.
Yeah. I know they don't have the McRib in Israel. That I know. Yeah. But
Alex, did I tell you when I was working up in Boston? I think it was like the first or second time I went there. And I remember, driving on the highway, and there's this big billboard, the McLobster roll.
What?
Yeah. They had a lobster roll.
What, not a McDonald's?
Yes. They had,
what?
Yes, they did. And I'm like, oh, that's balls. Because here you are, Boston, like, we're the lobster rolls.
Did you buy one?
No.
Why? Didn't you want to see what it would taste like?
Yeah, last time I did that was with a McRib.
Because I got to tell you get a good lobster roll and there's nothing better.
I know, right?
Yeah. I'd definitely be getting that, but it would be crawfish.
Be what? Crawfish? Yeah,
it wouldn't be real lobster.
Right. It'd be crawfish. Oh boy, yeah. No, what was it? We had we were talking lobster, and we were talking about. Well, there's this place called Red's Lobster, up near. Let me see here. Trying to remember where my ex-wife used to live, but it's somewhere. It's up near. It's not outside of Boston. It's outside of what? Where did she live? Portland, Maine.
Oh, okay.
And she took me to a place. I went up to see her, and she took me out to a place. Maybe it was over in Massachusetts. I don't know, but it was called Red's Lobster, and they had Supposedly, they have the best lobster roll in the country.
Which one do you want?
What?
Sorry.
The lobster rolls, the best lobster rolls I ever had was there. And people, in case you're not familiar with lobster rolls, if you're watching, they're just lobster in a hot dog bun, basically, or sometimes in bread turned over, Man, they're good. They're just wonderful. We get them from Stu Leonard's up here. So anyway,
Tony,
yes.
Have you got your reservations?
What?
Tony, have you
Well,
got your hotel?
I didn't do anything yet.
Oh. He told me that he was going to come out for your show.
Oh, God.
I said I was thinking about it. Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
Better do it fast because the tickets are almost gone. We probably will sell out by the weekend, I would think.
Wow.
So. What is that? It almost looks like a picture of a lobster roll. Anyway, we've got a couple more minutes here. Anybody doing anything interesting this weekend? How about you, Kevin? You're not going anywhere?
Yeah, I'm going to Oregon.
See, he's doing something this weekend. How's it coming together up there? Are you getting the house in shape?
It's going slow. I'm probably going to have to come back.
Really? Then are you going to sell that house, or are you going to just rent it? Yeah, okay. And how's the sale going so far?
It's not yet.
Oh, you haven't started it. Okay.
No, we have to get it prepped up.
Yeah. And
yeah. A lot of work.
Well, Josh and I will come up and see you, right, Josh?
Yeah, got an empty house. Come on.
How many rooms do you have? How many bedrooms do you have?
At the new place?
Mm-hmm.
3.
3, okay. So
there's plenty of room.
I have like 2 bedrooms here, so always got people staying here. Anyway, let me see here. Got a few more.
I'm coming in July, Alex.
You're coming in July? Oh,
yeah.
gee, Bree.
I have my daughter with me.
Oh, Bree, it's too bad because I'm not going to be here. Now, I can't lie about that because if you turn the show on and I'm here, you're going to know I'm lying to you. So it doesn't work very well. Let me start the theme here. There we go. Hey, listen, it's been just kind of fun this evening. It's been casual. It's been interesting, and it's a nice bunch of people, too. I enjoy all of you. And thank you so much to Charlie, who barely made it through the show without falling asleep. But I'm with you all the way, And but don't do it too much because it makes me drowsy. Oh, that's the wrong one, isn't it? Oh, that's the wrong one. That's not the theme. This is the theme.
I was going to say, I thought you changed it.
Yeah, no, that's the one we use for Michael Snyder and his movie reviews. Anyway, thank you, Charlie, for being here. Thank you so much, Mark. I always love seeing you on the show, as well as you, Josh, and Alan, and Bree, wherever you happen to be. Thank you for joining us. Kevin, have a nice weekend on your trip up north, and, of course, the lovely,
see you till late next week.
Lovely and attractive Tony. Thank you, Tony, for being here. And everybody, give a big wave goodbye. I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. Let me see here. I got to change this. There we go. There they go. And here I am, and this is me for now. Stay tuned for Amy Manuel. She'll be doing The Intersection next over most of this same GabNet. You can call her by going to gabnet.net and going to the third column down at the bottom. Her name is there along with a bunch of others. You click on that and that'll take you to her Zoom. Okay? In the meantime, I'll see you again on Monday for the pop-up show. And then again next Wednesday, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, of course, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye.